Good evening, this is your World War II update. Suffice it to say, we are doomed. Yes, doomed. Tonight I'm not feeling hopeful about humanity, and I'll admit that openly. Perhaps naming this fear will change its shape. But the truth is undeniable. Never before have we been so divided. As someone who does not identify with either extreme of the political spectrum, it is painful to watch this crisis being exploited by the very power elite who engineered it in the first place. Once again, as history shows, they never let a good crisis go to waste. And now, in the aftermath of this political assassination, the anger you see simmering will not only grow, it will be harnessed, managed and directed exactly where they want it to go. Viewers, we must be careful. We cannot allow the solitary act of one extremist to define an entire group of people. Think about it. If one right-wing shooter were to act and we were to blame all conservatives, what would happen? Further polarization, further unrest. That is the cycle we are caught in. One act of violence begets collective blame, which begets retaliation, which sparks escalation. And tragically, this trajectory is not only predictable, it is by design. The result? The justification for ever tighter control. We are heading toward martial law-style policing, lockdowns, and the full regimentation of our populations. First, anger will be shaped into a political tool. Then it will be used to rationalize surveillance and full-spectrum control. Artificial intelligence will drive this machinery. And as always, it will be sold to us as public safety. Ladies and gentlemen, polarization is not accidental. It is fueled by internet filter bubbles, by rage-bait politics, and by algorithms designed to divide. Each viral outburst only escalates the other side like a tennis ball hit harder each time. Instead of asking what radicalized an individual, people rush to blame the left or the right. And so the cycle repeats, radicalizing both camps, until the escalation ladders we see between NATO and Russia are mirrored in our own neighborhoods. And I ask you, if a left-wing figure were assassinated, would the response be different? The answer, not really. You'd still see mockery, exploitation, outrage, all channeled into broad scapegoating rather than a focus on the real root causes. Make no mistake, both political sides are securitizing these flashpoints to justify greater control. Left or right, Democrat or Republican, they restrict your freedoms in their own way, and power, once centralized, never rolls back. It only compounds. Consider the Hegelian dialectic: thesis, antithesis, synthesis. This mechanism benefits the elite, not the masses. The left pushes administrative, educational, and media coercion. The right brings militarization. Police on the streets, border fortifications, troops deployed. But those border walls, they're not just for keeping others out. They're for keeping you in. When the draft arrives and young people seek escape, how will they leave a country sealed by its own apparatus? Do not expect institutions to dissolve when the other party takes power. Bureaucracies are never dismantled. They're inherited and strengthened. Each year, authority centralizes further. Freedoms shrink further, all under the guise of safety. And here is the irony. Voices like Alex Jones, once warning of tyranny, are now cheering for troops and National Guard in the streets. They justify it. But the problems of austerity, of crime, of systemic failure cannot and will not be solved with martial law. Yet outrage is profitable. Anger sells. It's addictive, like a drug. Political grifters rake in views by stoking rage. But every escalation leads to more shootings, more political violence, and in the end, a stronger government. And remember this: the government is not left or right. It is an institution, an artificial machine whose only instinct is survival. New officials inherit it. They use its tools to prepare us for the next war. And right now, authorities cannot yet control us outright. So they create conditions where control becomes inevitable. They use political theater to justify boots on the ground, because that is what state power looks like on the eve of large-scale war. Viewers, the hard truth is this: both sides collude. Publicly they bicker. Privately they dine together. The spectacle of difference benefits them all. It is a false dichotomy, designed to keep us divided while they consolidate power. I know these words may sound naive. Crowds rarely change course. People fall back into easy binaries, into comfortable villains. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is only the overture. It will get worse. Much worse, so what can you do? No panaceas here. But the advice is simple. Build resilience. Improve yourself. Protect your family. Strengthen your community. Do not expect institutions to solve what they helped create. If enough of us focus on local bonds, on mutual aid, on critical thinking, we can at least resist the worst. Prepare materially, yes, but also prepare intellectually. Refuse the anger game. Demand diagnosis before blame. Because in the end, the one who wins is not the one who shouts loudest. It is the one who controls the mechanisms of control. The next war will be fought not only with weapons and troops, but with surveillance, with data, with managed narratives. That is the battlefield ahead. This is not despair. It is a call to sober awareness. If you want safety, start where you have influence, your home, your circle, your neighborhood. And so I end this broadcast with this appeal. Keep doing the small, hard things. Build skills. Nurture relationships. Invest in your community. Because while the political theater rages on, the elite will continue to exploit crises. But if we refuse to be pawns, if we strengthen the bonds that actually matter, we deny them the total victory they seek. That is not optimism. That is realism, and realism right now is the only honest stance. This has been your World War II update. Stay vigilant.